Well, the last 5 months have all built up to this point because this week we finally complete the expedition camper conversion on this old pinzgauer fire truck. When we first went to look at her, she didn't even run and she was in a bit of a dilapidated state. Truth be told, we didn't really know what we had to work with until we pulled her all to pieces. This has been the biggest project we have ever undertaken, and it's tested our nerve. I'm not going to lie, I'm absolutely bricking it. Our relationship, I'm going to murder you in your sleep, challenged us to learn some new skills. Check that out!
What a job that was!
You're 10! And given us some amazing moments.
Dream team.
Dream team.
So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the last episode of Big Red's Big Transformation. Now I know this isn't the ideal time to be drilling holes in the side of the vehicle, but with mine and Jess's off-roading skills, these are a must. She's looking mean. What do you think? Now, we decided we were going to put max tracks on it because even though it's 6-wheel drive, you never know, we might need them. And I found these little beauties on eBay. Now, you know the old max tracks, normally they're quite expensive for the brackets. Well, these, 15 quid for 4 of them, so absolutely brilliant. What wasn't cheap was we bought the old genuine max tracks this time at 220 quid, but we thought with the weight of it, the cheaper ones might not hold, so, but they're the mini ones as well, but they fit perfectly in there.
Look at her, made for the job.
And then the shovel, now, I didn't tell you this, go around the side here, Jess, but when I built this shovel, what I did was I designed it so it fits the contour of the vehicle, look, so it goes up like that, so it fits perfectly. Also known as what a fluke. The only thing that isn't so good is I haven't welded the old handle on square, so it's a bit on the... Look
at the state of that, look. Was there an ergonomic design for that, was there? That was a planned thing?
I don't know what ergonomic means. Now, one way I could have got this square is not by the ergonomics of it. If I'd have got my true blue spirit level out and checked the old straightness of it. Look at that. Remember Jonna, my old mucker from Shadow Foam? Well, I say he's my mucker, but he annoys me a bit really because all he does is drive around the country and flies around the world, in fact, and finds cool little tools for his channel. And he found this little beauty in America and he bought it for us and sent it to us. So thanks very much, Jonna. It's much appreciated.
Legend.
Now, another reason why he does my head in as well, because he designs his own tools. And he sent me this little beauty. It's his own Shadow Foam screwdriver. But what's cool about it, look, it drops down and it's got all the different tips inside. So you twist it and then push it up. And then it changes the tip. Like, how cool is that as well?
It's like a tool for spies or Inspector Gadget, I reckon.
But I think he's inspired me to do my own tool brand anyway. Now, my Jessica might be a good worker, but you know what one thing she isn't? Fun.
I think the word he might be looking for is stupid.
Because when you're in the workshop, right, you know lads be lads.
No.
Watch out the way. So I just gets the old staple gun. She's using it on these doors. And I was like, Jess, watch this.
Stop it. God, there's airlines and electric.
And it fires out the staples because if you're in the workshop, that's what you'd be doing, wouldn't you? Have a go.
No, you idiot. Honestly, this is why men die young. And he was firing them in my direction, right? So I says to him, what if one of those had gone in my eye? You know what his serious reaction was? Well, then you'd just be one-eyed Jess. Like, that's okay.
Have a go.
No, you're such an idiot. Now, as promised last week, I'm going to show you how I fit this material into my door frames and make it look nice and neat. Now, I got a lot of jip about what this material is called. I call it Hessian, end of discussion, so let's get on with it. So, as you saw last week, we routed out our hole in the back here for it to sit into neatly. And I would give you a little tip about the material that you buy. So it comes in different grades. This is a superior grade, which means that it's got like 16 squares or holes per inch. And I would recommend that because it's a lot more opaque, so you'll just get a nicer finish with it. And then we cut it a bit bigger than our hole. And the reason we need to do that is to secure it in, you first need to fold it over. Because of the way the fabric's woven, if you were to just staple into it and then cut it, it will just pull out. But if you fold it over and staple it in like this, make sure you go nice and close to your top edge as well because it has a bit of stretch in it. And then the next thing that's important is as you go along, you keep tension on the fabric, because otherwise you'll get sort of a wave effect and it won't be nice and taut. So you get your fold in it, pull it along, a bit of muscles, and then get your staple gun in, and again, right up by the edge, like that. So you work your way along and then obviously do the back as well. Now I've got one that I prepared earlier on my Blue Peter Special, and you can see it looks lovely on the front, nice and taut, a bit like a trampoline, but on the back, she's a mess. So all I do is get my scissors and I just trim the edge nicely, fairly close to my staple line. Obviously I don't want to go too close. So now I've got that trimmed up, it's looking a lot neater, but we still need to finish it off. So for that job, I use this plaited ribbon. It's made out of the same material, it's the same colour. And all you do, get your trusty old hot glue gun and run yourself a little bead along the back here. Now it's important that you don't splurge it out into the front, because otherwise you'll see it through. So you get your bead in and then you just press your ribbon down on into it. Now this does two jobs for us. First, obviously it helps to give us a nice finish, but also the hot glue gets into the fibres of the fabric and stops it fraying. And then this is what they look like when they're done. So nice and neat on the back and on the front. And you can see here where we routed out the edge, they then sit in nice and flush.
I'm floating in the clouds, oh so high, it won't come down. Glowing, you know I'll be glowing. Everything that I dream comes back round. Love every part of what I can see in the mirror. And nothing can bring me down to myself. I'm no quitter.
It's looking much better. Anyways, what do you reckon? Absolutely over the moon with it. And I tell you one thing for sure, we will never be fitting those push button latches again, because these Everlocks are an absolute dream to fit and they look nice as well. So big win on those. Couple of little tips for you when you fit in your doors and drawers though. So you will have seen that we busted out the old Screwfix special spacers. We just put them around the edge to get our space and then tack it in at the front, so then you've got it all nicely spaced off. Then you can pull the drawer out and get your screws in at the back to give it a good secure fixing. And it makes touching up so much easier because you've only got tiny wee holes to fill. Now another little trick that we use is when you're fitting your doors, you can get them perfectly flush on your hinge end, but it doesn't mean they're going to sit that way on the other side. So when we fitted this one, it had a little bit of a twist in it, and it sat in at the top here and sat out a little bit at the bottom. So the little cheat that we use is we just get a little block of wood and put it up here, which also acts as your doorstop, but also when you close the door, with the latch, it puts a little bit of tension on it and twists it up square for you. And another little thing to show you as well is John's got this tray made up for the end of the bed. He did it while I was making the doors, so that all looks nice and neat now. But one thing that we can really see now we've got this kitchen in is the space we've got in the back here. And I am blown away with it, especially considering we've got the same wheelbase as we had in the Landy. We are still going to have to be sensible with our storage, mind, and with that in mind, I'm definitely going to make myself a shadow foam drawer like Jono made me for the Sainsbury's van. And the other thing we're going to need to do is make good use of our storage space on the roof rack. So if anyone can recommend any companies that they know that could make us a good one, I'd be really grateful. On the note of storage and space saving ideas, we have recently come across a beauty new little product. It's called Holy and it's a healthy soft drink alternative, and it's perfect for when we're on the road. So it comes in powdered form, and each of these little sachets makes 500 ml worth of drink. So just one of these little boxes makes 7 litres of drink for you, which if you think about that compared to having bottles or cans in your vehicle, that takes up so much less space, and it's also a lot less waste to get rid of too. Now I can't decide if my favourite flavours are the iced tea ones or the hydration. Now the hydration is like an electrolyte replacement drink, a bit like a Powerade, except it's not full of sugar and all the junk they put in those. They also make an energy drink, which is sugar-free, and again, like the rest of their drinks, has no artificial colours or flavours. Now, my favourite one by far is the lime and mint matcha green tea, which tastes just like a mojito. Now, these starter packs let you try 7 different flavours, and then you can choose your favourite and buy them in bigger tubs. So if you want to give it a go, you'll get £5 off your first order if you use the code TRUEBLUE5. And then after that point, or if you want to make a bigger order and it's beneficial, then if you use the code TRUEBLUE, you'll get 10% off of everything you buy.
Now it's time to fit the old curtain rails. And remember last week I was telling you I love the copper look, but Jess wanted them black. But I think we all know who the boss is around here.
Well, what John failed to tell you is it's actually 3 days later, and I have done nothing but sew for the last 3 days, including this being the second time I have made these curtains, because I made them once, didn't like them, got new fabric, made them again, still don't really like them.
I haven't heard about it much, have I?
I was in a black mood yesterday.
I don't know what's wrong with them. I think I like them. But what Jess is saying is she reckons the vehicle looks like a rainbow.
It looks
it's like
someone
multicoloured.
threw up a paint palette in here.
But yeah, I think they're good. I think they would look better with copper rails, mine. But show them how they work then, Jess. So obviously, you know this window here, we used to have a blind on there, but we got rid of it, didn't we?
We did. So mostly because there's going to be curtains all round, and also it just meant there was no risk of damaging it with the air fryer. So they've just done these little tabs, and then they slide across and shut nicely. And then the ones in the front here, if you come round here, Johnny boy, I've just sewed a little magnet into this bottom corner. So when that one undoes, it comes in and tucks in nice and tight in there, so then no one sees anything they shouldn't when I'm using the loo.
And then we've got one on the front as well. So all I did with that copper pipe is just bent it to the shape of the roof. So then that one comes across and fits nicely. So, but you can't see it, but it's got like a textured finish to the old yellow. So
yeah, and it's not canary yellow like it's looking in the video. Is it called ochre? The colour looks a bit sort of English mustardy, I would say, which will hopefully make a little bit more sense when we get the rest of the bits in a bit.
now another beauty little addition to the pins. The old Starlink Mini. Now, we got the new Starlink for the house, the normal one, and ever since we got it, it's been a game changer. So we decided when we're on our travels, we're going to use the old Mini because obviously the size of it is tiny, but also you can run it on 12 volts too. But you can't plug it straight into a 12 volt supply because it's not high enough watts. So to get around that, we got these little beauties. These are from Tiger X Bed, but they were actually sent to me by one of you lovely lot, Sasha. Because when I put the story on Instagram that I got one of these, he said, you need these for it. So he sent us 2, one for the pins and one for the Sainsbury's van. But the way they work is you put a normal 12 volt supply into it, and then it will change that to 5, 9, 12, 15 or 20 volts. But it's high watts too. So you can have like fast charging for your phone, power obviously the Starlink Mini, and also we can run it for our laptops and things like that. So thanks ever so much, Sasha. Can't wait to get it installed. We haven't installed it yet because we don't know exactly where we're going to put it because we want to work out which is the best position. But when we do, I'll show you how it works.
What is it, John?
A brilliant big kit for the camper van.
You're such an idiot.
Now, whilst the Starlink Mini is very technical, what isn't is the old security on the pins. So we've got a couple of different ways we're going to combat that. And the first is to install the old electronic safe. Now, I'm not going to show you where we're putting it, but we bolt it to the chassis in the vehicle and we do it on all our builds. 80 quid from B&Q, you can't beat it. Now, let me put in this technical code. And the reason I love it so much is because we can get 2 laptops in there, the drone, cameras, lenses and everything like that. They all fit. And when we go swimming and do things like that, at least we know we can lock it all up in here and it's nice and secure. Now, I know if they want it, they're going to get it, but at least this way, they're going to have to work for it.
And then for our other security measure, you probably won't be surprised to find out that Big Red didn't come with a factory-fitted alarm system. So we needed to find an aftermarket one. So what we're going to go for is the Vanguardian. And we've gone for this because it's really simple to fit, and I'll show you that. But also because it's a zonal system. So they don't actually have to like break into your vehicle before the alarm goes off. As soon as they start tampering around with the outside, this will blast them in the ear roll. But the reason that that's so important to us is because she's obviously quite a rare old beast. It's not like if they did bow a door or something, we could just nip down to our local Mercedes dealership and get one. We'd have a bit of a problem. Now, when I say it's easy to fit, I mean it's easy. There's no drilling, there's no wires, there's nothing. So all you've got to do, it comes with this little tool to take off your front cover, which I've done earlier. And then it just secures to your vehicle with 3M tape. Now, I know you're probably thinking that's not the most secure, but firstly, it will start going off as soon as someone starts pulling on it. And secondly, not even my guns are a match for 3M tape. So you just peel off the backing, like so. I have already cleaned this down with the wipe it came with.
Now this is where you've got to get it level, and Jess reckons she's got the eye of a level gauge.
Also known as, I have a piece of scrap wood. So I just pop it in here like so.
Pressure's on, Jess, pressure's on.
Pressure is on. Now it's got 2 little screws either side that I've already taken out. So I should now just pull and this bit will come off the front. So you can see that backing on there. And then you use your little tool that came to take the old front bit off and you just press it on like this. And this is what activates the 3M tape. So it's going to get a nice secure fixing for me. So I'll give that a good rub. I need to grow up.
If that was me, she'd be saying you can't put that in, wouldn't she? If only I could get a good rub.
Oh my God. And then in the unit, these are the alarms that are going to deafen you. So you can see they've got a little plastic tab in them. So you just need to pull that out and then that lets the battery make contact so it will work. Oh, here goes one. There goes the other. And then I pop this back on the front, screw it in, and then I'll clip this back over the top, and it's done. Now it already comes paired to your remote, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And you'll get 2 key fobs and then this little one that goes inside your vehicle. So you can arm it and disarm it from this and you don't have to worry about where you've left your keys. And also what's great for wild camping is you can have it armed while you're inside. So to set the alarm, you just press the lock button on your fob and it gives you 2 beeps. Then in 5 seconds time, it's gonna give me another beep and that tells me it's ready to go. So you go over to your vehicle, looking a bit sinister.
I'd have to say, she does look a bit shady, doesn't she?
I look better than you. Anyway, so you go over and if I touch the vehicle now, it's gonna give me a, oh, back off, 2-second warning. If I was to continue to test my luck with it, it's gonna go mad. And then to turn it off, you just press the disarm button. And you can buy different packages with a different number of alarms in them depending on what you want to protect. So if you wanted to protect things on your roof rack or like your bike rack at the back, things like that. Also, you can adjust the sensitivity of them as well so you don't get false alarms going off all the time. Now, we got ours from our partners at AutoTerm, who've actually just launched a brand new website called Adventure Van Life. And that's because they've just got a 4x4 Sprinter that they've converted and they're going to take off to the Nordic Arctic this winter. So to celebrate that, they've given us a 10% discount on all of the products on that website if you use the code TRUEBLUE10. And that lasts for all of November. Or after November, you can use our code TRUEBLUE5 on either of their websites and you get 5% off everything. Well, I think it's time. To get the last of these bits in and get Big Red finished.
Just to add a bit more colour to the rainbow vehicle.
Well, Big Red is officially finished. Welcome to my comfy, cosy, very brightly coloured little home. If I'm completely honest, I'm still not 100% in love with the yellow, but I think you'll agree it goes a lot better now and puts all in together. And it's because I wanted everything to go with these cushions, which I do properly love, because they've got the greens for the cabinets, the red for Big Red, the greys for the bottom sofa cushions.
The orange for the bed covers, eh, Jess?
That one was a bit of a fail. And then obviously the yellow comes from these leaves. So that's how I've tried to tie it all together anyway.
Yeah, and this fabric, I don't know if you could see or not, but it's the same sort of material as the curtains. So I really like that.
Yeah, it is proper sort of textured and cosy and homey. And First time ever I've actually treated myself to proper upholstery fabrics. That was fun learning to sew. And I will say, if you haven't done sewing before, don't be daunted by it. I've just watched YouTube videos and taught myself, so I think it's come up pretty good based on
Yeah, and I think these were like 50 quid for the whole base cushions,
yes,
eh?
yeah, and it's actually next fabric. Look at us being all fancy, but it was on the end of a roll, so it was a remnant. I think it was about £8 a metre, so big win on that. And then these curtains are made out of blackout curtains, so they've got the blackout on the back for us, and then with the leftovers I just sewed up these cushions here. Now we've gone for separate cushions because it gives us so much more flexibility. Like with this table we can move around and move the cushions, and also with the gull wing as well, if we want to sort of open the door, all you've got to do is move those ones down. You can put these ones here behind you, put your legs up, beauty. And we've got the air fryer in. Woo-woo.
Yeah, well, this is what I was saying about the air fryer. So you can't see the base underneath, but it's nice and secure on there as well with the strap. Now, I'll put the buckle down by the bottom there when we get it in properly, but I'm happy with it anyway.
I cannot wait to use this beauty on the road. But also, we're going to have a bungee around the front here as well, so the straw doesn't fly out when we're driving about.
I have to say, the old bungee crew are impressed how many we managed to squeeze in this build, eh?
We have snuck quite a few in.
Go on the
Johnny boy.
bungee. But now the build's done, we thought we'd go through all the costs associated with the build and also pros and cons and everything like that. And first up is the fact that there's no awning on the side. Now, I love an awning. I think it's one of the coolest things for a camper. But because we wild camp all the time, and in Australia, you get an awning out and chairs out, nobody blinks an eyelid. Whereas in Europe, and especially England, it's pretty much a no-go getting them out. So we decided not to go with it. But we have got the old mini awning with the old gull wing anyway, if we need it. Now, a couple of things that hopefully won't be regrets is the fact that we didn't put a winch on it. Time will tell with that one. And also that we didn't put AC on the roof as well. But I have got something up my sleeve if it does become an issue, because a couple of people messaged me saying that you can get flaps in here that open from the inside, so you can let a lot of air flow through there, and they reckon that helps a lot as well. So we might put them in at some stage.
Now onto our favourite bits of the build, and mine absolutely has to be the fact that we managed to keep the shutters and to make this gull wing. Because even with the drawings we got from Nick, thank you Nick, you legend, for his gull wing he'd done on his pins, because we wanted to keep the shutters, we literally spent an entire day ripping our hair out trying to figure this out. John gave up, threw the book in the bin, I pulled it out and eventually figured it out. So I am so proud of this, absolutely love it.
And the best thing for me is the fact that we both learnt to aluminium weld and we made this whole pop-top roof ourselves. The fact that we've got all this space down in here, and then we drop it down, and then we've got the bed up here as well. It's just, yeah, incredible. Now for the costs.
The juicy bit everybody wants to know.
So the base vehicle, £31,000. And when you think that a 4x4 Sprinter with about 100,000 miles on it is probably about 20 to 30 grand, this isn't actually that bad. And the best thing about it is because they're so rare, they only going up in price. Whereas obviously a newer motorhome or something like that is always depreciating anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And she only had 25,000 miles on the clock as well, so that's something to think about. But for the actual build out itself, cost us a total of £14,884.
Yeah.
Now that does include some of the items that we work with partners on, but obviously if you were to do the build out yourself, it would cost you to buy things like that, like the batteries.
Yeah, so what was it, a total of 40?
Just under 46 grand.
46 grand. And what it's worth would be interesting to know, really. That's one thing that...
Absolutely no idea.
It's not like you can just go onto eBay or somewhere and find one of these built like this. It's pretty much a one-off, really. So, yeah, when we do come to sell it, it's going to be hard pricing it anyway.
Yeah, no idea. But we did just want to say a huge thank you to you guys, because we so value your input and feedback, and it's made a lot of changes.
I hate all this corny stuff, but I do have to admit, I've got to thank you guys for all the tools that we managed to get for this build, because we were going through some old clips and I realised that the rivet gun was got in this build. We got the sander, the welder,
die grinders.
Yeah, oh, so many tools. So it's been a brilliant build for that. Anyway.
Yeah, I will add that price does not include the millions of tools that he bought. But anyway, but genuinely, like the things like the black socket where we put the badge in the steering wheel, the fact that we stained the tree sliders rather than painting them. So many good ideas from you guys. Literally, like we've got a list as long as our arms. So thank you for that. And on the note of thank you, I've had a few little gifts come through. So the first one I want to show you is this little tag here, key ring, which is going to go on Big Red's keys proudly.
So I don't know if you can see it, but it's got big red engraved in it in there.
And that is actually made out of old fire hose. How cool is that? And a little bear, a little fire engine bear, who is going to be his pride of place in here. And they're from
He's
Paul.
the little mascot.
And also, I noticed, look, the yellow, see? I was on point with the yellow, emergency services. And then from Alison, she has made us this beautiful canvas print of Big Red. And it's even got, look, England in the top and Australia for me in the bottom. So that is beautiful. Thank you, Alison. And she also made John, she's so talented, this lovely little sign for the workshop. So John's workshop look, authorised by Jess, tools only. It's gorgeous, that one. And then also from David and Claire, I've got something to help me deal with the pain of my Crocs a little bit. I've got these little big red things to go on it. And also Carol, we got these just in time today, sent us a bunch of nasty little things for our Crocs to decorate them. So we have Croc.
You can't say that.
We just have to beat that bit.
It sounds like a banker, right? Croc banker, right?
And then there's also some little lights to go on them. And then we've got a rabbit, a microphone, a tape measure, and a frog giving us the digit.
Yeah,
so
because
thank you, Carol.
that's another thing we learned on this build, that Jess likes cordless tools as well, doesn't she?
Oh my God.
But the real question on everyone's lips, when's my naked calendar coming out?
Oh my God.
But we've got a few more shots to get, haven't we, Jess?
Yes.
Not quite the right angles at the minute.
No.
Not quite the right size, shape, ergonomics.
Still not the right use of the word ergonomics.
So it'll be out for Christmas anyway.
Tell you what, I'll leave that one to John to sort. So that means that's never going to happen. But the question people have actually been asking us is, where is Big Red going? And the truth is, it's not a 2-second answer.
Yeah, so we're going to do a live next Saturday. First time I've ever done one, so it's going to be a bit of a shambles.
God
but
only knows.
if you don't know, if you miss it as well, you can go onto YouTube, and next to the video section on our channel will be a live section. So we're going to upload it, so if you miss it, you can go back and watch it then.
Yeah. But we're going to do it at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's British Standard Time. So gives you a bit more of a chance to get up and get a brew in the morning rather than going out
It
at
gives
7.
Jess enough time to get up and not look like death in the morning as well.
Yeah, it gives me a chance to have a brew.
You can experience the full force of Jess in the morning.
So anyway, we just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on this journey with us, because it has been unreal and it's been quite a long one.
Yeah, it's been an epic build, eh?
Yeah.
So best one yet, I think, anyway.
So we just wanted to leave you with some of our favourite bits from the last 5 months. Everybody, meet Big Red, our 718K pinzgauer 6x6 X fire truck, and the new love of my life. But the first thing you notice is she is loud and she is rattly, but she's a beauty. High five.
Dreamwork makes the teamwork.
Dreamwork makes the teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
No, is it Johnny Boy? One of these.
Woo! Look at this little beauty. Go on, dry on.
Yeah, baby. We made this ourselves.
I'm on a freezing woman.
Do I get flowers? No. Do I get cake? No. Do I get dread-inducing parcels? Yes.
Now, a lot of people suffer from road rage, but you know what I suffer from? Jess rage.
Oh, they're disgusting.
I know what you're thinking, ladies, but I can assure you it's all me.
Check out my tats as well. Kind of liking it.
5:20. Jess went for a toilet and her trumpet arse woke me up. Flex.
Flex it. Keep it up, and I'll break you. Smashed it.